Hello and welcome to Minimise Debt, Maximise Cash with Top Service, where each episode we will give you tips on how to maximise your cash and minimise your debt in the construction industry. My name's Emma Reilly, Top Service CEO, Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Credit Management and current CICM Council Advisory Member representing Trade Credit. We're coming up to a year since we launched Minimise Debt, Maximise Cash, and we've had some great feedback. But as always, we would like more. Please get in touch by searching Emma Reilly Top Service on LinkedIn. Tell me what you like, what particular piece of advice that has been useful to your business, and what you'd like to hear more of. We'll read out the best bits of feedback on the show. Welcome to CICM month on Minimise Debt, Maximise Cash. For the month of June, we are dedicating our podcast episodes to our relationship with the CICM. That's the Chartered Institute of Credit Management to those not quite in the know. We have found the CICM to be a valued partner of Top Service. In fact, most of the podcast episodes and advice you have heard from us in 2026 come from our partnership with the CICM. In this episode, Alison Blower, Laura Humphries and Rachel Symmonds discuss taking the CICM Level 3 Credit Management Qualification and what difference it's made to our offering at Top Service. First of all, I'm really interested to know more about why you agreed or why you wanted to do the qualifications.
I think for me, it was, obviously I've been on quite a career journey here since I've been at Top Service. And for me, I think one of the key things that really stood out was how my role was changing over the years from debt recovery operative. The terminology used as a debt collector would be completely different when speaking to a member. And it's when you took me out on a member visit and we'd gone up and sat down with the member and you was talking and you were really engaged in this conversation. I remember sitting back thinking, this is all well and good, but actually I don't understand some of that terminology they're using because I haven't actually had to hear it from that perspective. And I think as a credit manager or somebody that works in credit control, that terminology was quite a day-to-day. But for me, a little phrase of a DSO or a Dunning cycle, I remember sitting there going, just smile, pretend you know what you're doing, pretend you
know what it is.
What
the Dunning cycle is. It's just knowing
the phrase,
what it's called, or what a credit manager would call that.
And I think at that point I thought, okay, so for me this has highlighted a little bit of a knowledge gap. So when you come forward and said, actually, I know how we can kind of fill that, I jumped at it, and I've got to say it has massively helped. And it's now knowing I can pick up the phone, speak to a member, and then they'll be coming out with their standard terminology, and I'm like, I know what that means now. That's fine. I know. So for me, it was really going to support from transitioning from being a debt collector to be more front facing and having confident conversations and really understand it.
And it's a softer approach, I think, from when we did debt collection. How we talk, and then it's sort of having to soften my tone and understanding. I really wanted to understand the role of the credit controller, credit manager. We're speaking to the finance director as well. So I wanted to use those key terminologies that they use so they understand that I know what they're talking about and they know vice versa. And it just gives me that confidence then to have a look and, giving informational feedback to them.
I think what I can hear from all of you when I hear you on the phone talking or we're out on visits and stuff is definitely an increased confidence. And you're right, Al, the point that you make there about how the terminology we use in a debt collection credit information provider capacity, it means the same, but we just say it slightly differently. And I think what I can hear from you all is, like what I said, that confidence. And I can sit back and I think, oh, listen to them. But also, I think for me, I can hear how you're able to empathise with our customers. Not that you couldn't before, but on a different level, because you're now understanding the pressures that our customers in their roles face, not just the pressures that the business faces. from a cash flow point of view and making sure everything's running, but actually the pressures that our contacts have in the roles they are.
Definitely, it gives you that whole new perspective.
Yeah. And I think with the sort of course that we're doing, when we do about risk analysis, risk management, we sort of get what they're saying now. Yeah. It was just words initially, and now sort of almost looking at the back end of things for the member, we understand the pressures that they're under as well.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you, I think it would be interesting for anybody who might be thinking about doing the qualification, because there's obviously a time element involved, and I know that you all put a lot of time and effort into it outside of work, is how do you manage that? Because you all work full time, you've all got family at home, there's a home life and personal stuff that goes on outside of work, and then you're doing the qualification as well. So how do you find the balance?
Right, for me, I was lucky because my youngest daughter started her degree the same sort of time I started the course. Oh, okay. So hers is a 3-year degree. She's almost at the same ending as me. So it was sort of, shall we go to the gym? It was almost like a cop-out. You know what it's like, an excuse not to do stuff, but we just penciled in time round the dinner table and do stuff like that. Yeah. So I had almost like a study buddy.
Funnily enough, my daughter's 15 doing mocks for her GCSEs, and we found the same. We'd revise together. We'd both have our flashcards, and we'd test each other. And for the business law, we had a lot of cases to remember, didn't you? For business law. Yeah. So I was making silly little songs and rhymes up to remember them, and she could actually answer the questions because she could remember my silly rhymes and songs, but I did find it quite breakable to put into bite-sized bits that did fit around.
I'm not going to lie, I am slightly jealous that you both had study buddies because I didn't have it. I found it challenging in a way because it wasn't just about the home life, it was about the journey that I was also taking in top service. So I did find it challenging, but like you just said, you can split it down into bite-sized pieces and chunks. Yeah. And being able, we discussed it in the office if we were struggling on a certain subject or, as you say, a case. But everybody in our office was also really intrigued in what we were doing, so it almost come like a group discussion. So almost taking what we were learning and passing it down to the rest of the team. Yeah. And for me, explaining it to somebody else helps me then remember what I'm learning.
And again, your understanding as well. So.
But I think even though it can be challenging, you do have to have that element of, like you say, you've got to pencil that time in. Yeah. You do need to put in that additional time to do your pre-reading and your extra time to do the courses. But the biggest thing out of it is how rewarding it is. Yeah. To then actually go and sit and do your test and come back and get that piece of paper say you've passed, and it's like,
I celebrated with Starbucks when I passed my first test. I was so happy.
It's finding the balance, but knowing at the end of it the reward you get out of it. And the one thing I've got to say, so I'm nearing the end now, as you know. I'm on my last module, and for each module you do, you obviously get your different tutors, and all your tutors are completely different. But it's knowing that even though your class is only an hour or an hour and a half or an hour and 45, that once your virtual class ends, your tutor is always still there. And then the people that you're on the courses with, it was Credit Management, they set up a study group. So you've got so many more people outside of your organisation that you can then go to, and I think that helps massively.
It is key. I mean, I had a session yesterday because they gave us 15-minute bite-sized sessions, but I think mine went into 45 minutes. But again, I don't know how. But it's having that confidence to speak with your tutor, not holding back, not feeling embarrassed, and it's the same in our sessions as well, isn't it, Law? Yeah. We quite often unmute ourselves and just clarify things, and people are starting to do that as well in the group, so people are feeling much more relaxed in the group. So you're holding out. Is it a silly question? I think, just me.
I think you've got to go into these with that open mind. No question's a silly question. Actually, probably half class is thinking it.
And
someone's not brave enough to ask it. That's the only way you're going to get the most out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So, I'm really enjoying it. As I say, last hurdle, thoroughly enjoyed it. At first I was trying to establish, because we're coming from a different angle as opposed to some of the other learners, they're already in the finance industry, so we're almost looking at over the fence, if you like. So it had it's had its challenges, but we've overcome them as a team. So
brilliant. It's been great.
So I've sort of seen things from an employer point of view and your growth and development. You've seen it from sort of actually doing it and being able to apply it to your roles. What do you think the benefit of you completing the qualifications has to our top service customers?
I think one of the biggest benefits is now, like the word that comes up the most is the confidence. So knowing you've now got three, I'm going to say 3 people currently, because obviously we're the only 3 that's sat and almost completed it, confidently have those conversations. Any challenge that we were previously faced before with the uncertainty, we can now hit head on with more certainty, dealing with queries, giving the better advice. And then in turn for top service, I think that means that you've now got confidence that we don't just meet our members' expectations, we now exceed them because we're applying everything that we've learned.
Absolutely.
Rather than, it didn't happen very often, but the one thing that sometimes we had to do was, that's a great question you've asked there, but I just need to go away, be able to dig a little bit deeper and return your call, whereas now 9 times out of 10 we can deal with things on the call there.
I think like what Em said earlier, we've got years and years of expertise, but it's kind of just cemented that knowledge, hasn't it? And it's given me the confidence now when I'm talking about things like contract law, retentions of title, that I 100% know it. It's just that little like push that you do what you've been saying is great. And it's just, I think, comes across when I'm talking to members now.
And I think it's nice that rather than being sort of proactive, the member calling in, if we spot something, we can sort of reactive, make that call to them. This is what we've found. We know that you've been looking at this member. We can see you've sent a chasing letter. We can see that a winding up petition has been dismissed. Do you want to pass that straight across to the with no fee collections team? So it's being sort of proactive in that way, rather than sitting back and waiting for the member to call us. So it's just given us those stronger tools really to react to our members' requests or inquiries.
Excellent. And it feels like I know the answer to this question, but are you enjoying it?
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
There's been struggles. I won't lie. There's been struggles and doubts, and I think you get that in uni, college, school, whatever. But test days, exam days, a bit nerve-wracking. But once you come out and you see the results, you think it's been worth it.
I always go for the 8 a.m. exam to avoid those nerves. I'll get it done.
No, I need a warm-up. I need a warm-up.
Get me coffee, get it done.
But this is our last module. I'm really enjoying this module as well. It's accounting principles.
It is.
And and again, this particular module helps us understand our members financially as well. So the others have been business law, which is great, but I think this is what's going to hit home for our members, us knowing a little bit more about their finances and what's key to them.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed for the last leg. Homework. You need the good one. But, thank you guys for sitting down and talking to me about it.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If there are any other questions, please do contact us on LinkedIn. Just search Top Service Limited. And also do check out a video version of this podcast on our YouTube channel. Once again, search for Top Service Limited. If we don't see you online, we will see you in the next episode where we will help you to maximise your cash and minimise your debt. Bye bye from Top Service.